There we
Sounds
go.
good.
Is that it? By
Yeah,
golly,
it
are we?
says it's being live streamed.
Oh my God, I feel like I'm being live streamed. 5 or 6 other crazy people. We got a full house, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for our regular weekly regimen on a Monday morning for Santa Barbara, California's longtime astrophysics club, the Santa Barbara Astronomical Unit, SBAU. In fact, we call this program the SBAU Astro Hour. I'm your proud host, re-elected Vice President. I'll introduce you to the president who's been re-elected and a couple other people from the club. I'm a former radio guy, Ronnie Herron. Used to do this same interview with these same knowledgeable fellows on screen with me. And we're soon going to start our 4th year. That'll be March. It'll be program number 198 today for December 9th through the 15th, 2024. SBAU is based, at and supported by the Santa Barbara Museum of Natural History up past the Mission in Mission Canyon. Has an observatory there, a planetarium. Look us up on sbau.org. What are we going to talk about? The night sky. We've got a cornucopia of stuff to kick around. Kill thing. We got the night sky, 2 planets are reaching opposition. The ones, the next 2 out from us, Mars and Jupiter. From pinpoint invisible to naked eye brightness, Mira, the red, a star on its yearly journey. Our moon, going to focus on a couple of craters, Pythagoras, and Rupus Recta and his orchestra, which sounds like a medical condition you see a proctologist about. I've got Rupus Recta, never mind. Speaking of a moon landing, get this. We're going to talk about Starships, landing legs, among other things. NASA's delaying it. The Artemis launched for about 2 years. And doggone if we got incredible pictures of the hardware being built. Let me introduce you to the whole crowd that we've always had. There's all 6 of us here. Jerry Wilson up in
Good
Eugene.
morning.
You look like a ninja guy with that black sweater on it. Is it cold in Eugene, Oregon?
Yes, it is.
And you and Pat have a new grandchild who's probably going
Yes.
to climb all over you like that black cat does. There it is on Chuck's screen. All right, Pat Forgy is his wife. Jerry is reelected. And Chuck McPartland's with us, outreach coordinator. Grand scheme of things, I got to tell you, Pat McPartland is our merchandise manager and an incredible reelected treasurer. Or what? Did we reelect treasurer? Yes, we did. Treasurer, president, secretary. We got secretary change. They're not on screen with us. Tom Whittemore joined us. He's married to Maureen.
Morning.
Good to have you there in the back at the big meeting on Friday night. Bruce Murdoch, who's married to Bonnie. And doggone, he's also president of the Santa Barbara Theater Organ Society.
Oh,
Keeps
yes.
them alive. Long-time supporter and telescope guy. Tim Crawford, our lens and expert. There you are, Tim.
Howdy.
And he's married to Karen, incidentally. And Tom Totten returns. Hello, Tom. Past president, a double P, and the webmaster extraordinaire in charge of our archives and our website. And his wife is the lovely Suzanne. It was a good time, even though you weren't there, Jerry, on Friday night. But don't
Yeah,
let
sorry I missed it.
well, it's okay. We have lives, all of us. And we also have silly cartoons. These are Jerry's forwarded silly science cartoons. This is how I knew you were going to be with us today. We kept getting these. I got about almost a dozen. Let's see which ones we go to first. Oh, those are the 2 cats. Great minds think alike, don't they? 2 kitty cats sitting on the fence at night. And one of them says, "You know what I'm thinking?" The other says, "Yeah, I know. How totally awesome we look silhouetted against that crescent moon." Great kitty cat minds think alike and walk in front of you on the screen. Let me tell you, that's a good one.
The
We got a lot of
responded it was a winning moon.
Well, that was the other one with the moon coming out of the beauty parlor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you call that one up? Because Chuck did send out a reply. And
Oops.
Well-
No, wait a minute. I don't know how to advance in this on this computer.
are you doing it, or is Tom Totten doing it?
No, Jerry's in
I'm-
control.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did realize that my comment was only valid in the Northern Hemisphere.
Yeah, that works,
Oh, yeah.
Jerry.
This he headlined homeschool. A couple of boys are out in the hayfield doing some elementary physics, preparing for a circus tumbling act. I don't know what the sign says, but if he gets that big heavy roll of hay to fall onto the teeter-totter. They've started a circus act. Homeschooling day 4, physics.
Yeah, they're
My-
studying ballistics.
What's the sign on the side say?
It's not readable.
It says free hayride.
Oh, yeah,
that one.
it could be. Yeah.
Free hayride. All right. Well, oh, okay. I got it. That's what
Yeah.
he's about to have. Now, here is the owl. Looks like a barn owl checking out the guy's bird book from over his shoulder and leaning over and said, yeah, she looks okay to me. Look good. I guess not really my type, though. I like a bigger wingspan, you know. There we go. Page 236. Look at the plumage on that one. Sweet Jesus.
They're doing a dating app, they're matchworks. They're
Well,
trying to get the owl a match.
Is that
Date.
book a standard for the Audubon Society?
It's the best book.
It
Simply.
is the Bible, yeah.
Okay, they're the other group that meets at the museum.
I
This
like
one is-
this.
I like this one, a play on an old Carly Simon song. You're no Van. I bet you think this graph is about you, don't you? Don't you? Now you set this out, Jerry, under the word vent, so you misread something.
Oh, no, that would be just a typo. I am not
Called a Venn
responsible for what
diagram.
I type.
Well, what is
But that's a Venn
VENN?
diagram.
It's a Venn diagram. The
A
T
Venn
is in there.
diagram?
Yeah,
Yeah.
VENN.
Is that short for something like veneration or
Where's the
veneration?
guy's name?
What was the guy's name? Okay, they overlap, and you're gonna have to put it into a
It's
talking
from
points.
Ron. It's from set theory. Here's one set, here's another set. They overlap. They don't.
Okay, don't you?
So
know.
there's the union of the sets,
And that's a conjunction of the two sets.
Do any of you remember who Carly Simon was singing that song for? There was an
That's
actual.
Mick
controversial.
Jagger. Mick Jagger.
Was it? I heard it
Yeah.
was Warren Beatty.
No,
I
Mick
think it was
Jagger.
more than yeah.
Okay.
Mick Jagger.
Okay. Okay, here's one that we finally figured out. Boat trails are us. Wake up, sheeple. And they're cruising across the water, and we've discovered they're putting dihydrogen monoxide in our water. Oh my God, what is that a formula for? Oh, water?
Yeah.
The water.
Right.
Do they say dihydrogen?
No, that's not.
H2O,
No.
2 hydrogens, 1 oxygen, dihydrogen.
Here is the moon in
It's
the
also
wrong
hydrogen hydroxide.
Okay, I've never heard the term die, but anyway, the moon, one of the crescents coming out of the waxing salon. Thanks, guys. See you next month. We'll get waxed again, except that he's got waned. I think, didn't he? He goes
In the
from
northern hemisphere, in the southern hemisphere, that's what a waxing moon would look like.
Really?
Why would it be waxing or waning from this picture?
Well, it's a crescent.
When
Yeah,
the
it's a
moon,
crescent, but you
moon
get
is
a
lit on
crescent
the left
twice.
side, it's
So the sun
waning.
is on the left. Like
Yeah,
Tim-
Yeah,
when the
which
lit
side
side
is
is on-
on?
Go ahead, Tom.
So we're looking at it as it would appear in the night sky, and that
Or
would
the
be
morning sky in this case.
Oh,
Yes.
I see. From the shadow of the car, you can get the sun.
Well, no, just from the direction of the crescent.
Yeah.
Well, he could, but if he turns the other way,
Yeah.
waxing is- Okay, waxing is-
I get it.
It's
But-
too
Bizarro.
complicated.
Yeah.
All right, we had that one. Okay. We missed a few. I liked your evolution one depicting the let's see here, the differences bottom up monkey. Oh, the monkeys turning into men in silhouette. Did you remember sending that? And then the 3 wise men, you had a Bethlehem cartoon. However, we got stuff to do here, and it's already 10 minutes into the hour. We're going to go over 1 o'clock noon because we were late getting into it. But boy, you got some great pictures coming into the end of this hour. Let's go to the night sky. Blow that up.
Okay.
Have a look at stars. It's good to have everybody back together on the screen. Tom,
Mhm.
Totten, both Toms, man.
Okay, the topic here is that this winter, we're having 2 major planet oppositions. The planets will be closest to the Earth and the brightest. One is Jupiter, the other is Mars. So
Although
we're gonna-
Jupiter's not quite into winter.
Right.
Oh, well, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's what?
Uh-oh.
Hello. I'm on my show.
I got a Dick Tracy watch.
Yeah.
Oh,
Love it.
Probably no video though. Dick Tracy, did it have video on his watch?
not really. I'm in the middle of a talk. I'll call you
Yes, I
back.
think he did.
Yeah, the wrist radio back 40, 50, 60 years ago.
It wasn't wrist video.
Like
Oh,
70
okay.
years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been married 60 years, and Dick Tracy was around
Wow.
before we got married.
Yeah, it was in the
Yeah.
50s. I remember.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta go.
If cats don't get us, the technology will.
Okay, where were we? Oh yeah,
we were up.
Jupiter. The winter season, actually, there's different ways of marking the season. There's of course, astronomical winter, but there's kind of forgot the other one. Weather, winter, several other things, and we are in winter.
Jonathan Winter.
Yeah. It's cold. Well, it's cold up here in Eugene.
Plus Shelley.
The
Yeah.
outside temperature here next to the ocean is 59 degrees.
Yeah, I wish it was that here. So anyway, but real winter will happen on what, December 21st?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this shows the constellation of Taurus with Aldebaran, the bright red star, the eye of the bull, and Jupiter is right up here. Nice little hop from the Pleiades.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jerry, last night we had dinner guests over and I brought out the sky window, with my binoculars. It was so transparent. I just aimed for this general direction and I could see Allie's braid in binoculars in the
Wow.
Pleiades. It was really something.
Wow.
So, and the Hyades were just beautiful. Jupiter was really pretty. I could see two of the moons that were far from the ball of the planet. The other two might have been jumbled together. And again, that's a little tough in binoculars if they're that tight. But it was just spectacular.
Tom, what was the magnification of your binoculars?
8.
8.
They're just 8 by 42s.
Yeah.
It's what I use with my copy of Sibley.
What was your count?
Oh, just three guests, Chuck, if you
Okay.
want the numbers, yeah. And my feeling is that open cluster, Jerry, in between the two horns, it's
Yeah.
1647. That is absolutely spectacular in binoculars. I think it's
So
16.
you're referring to this here.
That dude right there, I think that's 1647.
Yeah. So anyway, Jupiter and Saturn, Jupiter and Mars will essentially be up all night. They rise at sunset and they set at sunrise.
Well, Venus was up, right after sunset, and it was also very bright.
Yeah, it won't be up all night, but yeah, it's very bright
No.
evening
It's
sky.
set pretty quickly.
It's a nice view.
Yeah, we saw Venus the other night with a beautiful green flash from the backyard.
Okay.
It was just gorgeous. Yeah.
You got the green flash? Wow.
From Venus.
Many times. I see it dozens of times a year here. Yeah.
And Venus provided it, not the sun?
No, it's the sun setting.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
You can get it from Venus.
You
Yeah.
can? Got its
Yeah.
own green flash?
I've actually seen it on a moon. Our moon, a green flash.
Green seems to be the color that's not that predominant in the cosmos, whether it's the sky or the planets or the stars. There's not a lot of green.
Well, our eyes are sort of evolutionary designed to see that greenish as toward white when it's bright.
Yeah.
Well,
But the reds are bent by our atmosphere and they disappear, and the blues are scattered by our atmosphere and they disappear, and the greens are the things that come through.
Mhm.
well, what element does a star that's green? What's it? It's
There
which
are
element?
no green stars.
It would be
Okay.
copper, but
So all we got is a green flash. Interesting.
But it would be sodium if you want a green light.
Really?
sodium is yellow.
Sodium's yellow, yeah.
Yeah, it's more yellow.
It depends on your eye.
Thanks to the D lines, the two D
So
lines.
the doublet. So this is a picture taken by Hubble of the 2019 opposition. So,
Forgive me on that. Can I ask again? I'm just not clear. Does that mean opposition that they're on the same side of the sun as us and as close to our
They're
orbit?
farther out than we are.
It means they're opposite the sun in our sky.
Yeah.
They're
We're
opposite.
between them and the sun.
Oh, okay. So that would be as close to our orbit as they get.
That's
Yes.
right.
Well, sort of, yeah.
Yeah, not to our orbit, but to us.
And the opposition only means Earth. It has nothing to do with the sun.
Yeah, it's opposite the sun. That's where the word opposition comes from. You're opposite the sun.
Well, what's confusing to me, opposite would be way across, and I'd see it coming around the sun on the other
No,
side.
no,
That
no.
would be
That's a conjunction.
Yeah.
conjunction.
Opposition only refers to with respect to the Earth.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay.
It's called a confusion.
Yeah.
Now this shows the great red spot, which it is more of a bright orange spot now, and it's smaller than it used to be. It was much bigger like this when I was a kid, and it was redder.
Well, a decade ago, they thought it was going to disappear.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was quite pale a decade ago. And 20 years ago, there was a guy from Berkeley that came out and talked at UCSB, and he studies these atmospheres, and he said it was going to go away within the next 50 years. So let's see.
So it's about the size of the Earth now?
The dark part, yeah.
Dark spot, yeah. I think it's about 3 Earths across.
Exactly, yeah.
Wow.
Now this is a picture on the other side of Jupiter taken by an amateur and a Facebook friend of mine, Uwe Mailing, with his 14-inch
Schmidt.
Yeah, he calls it a cancer screen. Yeah. Oh, it doesn't list the scope here, but
There's just a storm that popped up in one of the bands too that's very white, and when that happens, sometimes it spreads and that band disappears, and you have now, instead of a double cheeseburger, you have only a single burger.
yeah.
Really? Huh.
Oh yeah, and the first feature you notice on the disc, first when I looked at it in my 6-inch f8 back in the late 50s, early 60s, first of all, I couldn't see anything, just a white disc. Your eyes have to get used to it, the contrast with the dark sky. But the first feature you'll notice is these two bands across, and that's where the phrase double cheeseburger comes from that Chuck used.
Those bands are full of different stuff than the other bands?
Yes.
What?
The white ones are ammonia ice crystals.
Well, the
Oh.
white's ammonia.
Yeah.
The brown is sulfuric acid.
And methane, yeah.
Yeah.
In the image, the red spot was below. Is that an inverted? Is it in the northern band or in the southern?
I think it's in the southern equatorial band.
Okay. So this is true. It's not inverted.
I can't speak to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
That's
see
when
this.
you normally see it.
This is the way we normally see it, but it depends whether it's been flipped. I don't think it is.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I figure these bands must be at different altitudes, or they would have
Yes.
mixed.
Tony, pick up the phone.
The dark bands are at higher altitude. They're where warm stuff has come up.
Okay.
Really?
Oh,
If you look at it in infrared, those bands are bright.
Oh, the red bands?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So that they are where it's hotter there.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Can I ask a question about Jupiter and the late Julian Knott, the expert on balloons? Was NASA thinking about using those on Jupiter, or was it just Venus?
It was Titan.
Oh, Titan.
Yeah. They are
If
thinking about it on Venus now, but it was Titan at that time.
There'd be no thought of putting giant balloons with people in them on the top of
People
Jupiter.
in the balloons? No.
That wouldn't
No,
work.
with Jupiter, those winds are going 300 miles an hour in those bands.
Yeah.
Well, hell, they go 3 times that fast on Uranus or Neptune.
It's Neptune,
Yeah.
1200.
Is it Neptune? My
Yeah.
God. Okay.
So on Venus, interestingly enough, the acidic clouds are lower down, and above the white cloud tops, there's still atmosphere that will float a balloon. So you apparently can float a balloon above the white sulfuric clouds. And that's where they're speculating they might want to put a probe up there. But right now, I think NASA is about to do a major course change. Their Artemis system with the space launch system that took them so long to develop and that Boeing is having so much trouble with, is now in direct competition with SpaceX for flight to the moon. And we'll touch on that a little bit if we get to the
later
stuff
on.
on the moon landing.
Got some great pictures coming up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now for little Mars right over here in Cancer, down from Castor and Pollux. Mars is over here near the pivot of the pinwheel or the propeller blades. And this is, I collected a lot of pictures over the years from trying to get it from mostly amateurs. These are pictures of Mars.
From Hubble.
Yeah, except I didn't, yes, these are not amateur pictures, but other ones are. The Hubble Space Telescope images of 2007, showing the entire surface of the planet. And they're showing what's called the North Polar Hood, which is not to be taken with, confused with the South Polar Cap. In this picture, south is up. So that bright part at the bottom of the disk down here, that's the North Polar Hood, which is fogs and stuff on the ground, but also fogs and cloud. And it's seasonal.
No, well, isn't it north and south aligned just like ours? Why wouldn't they turn the picture up over?
Well, they just orient it this way, but the Mars is actually, what, about 20 degrees tilted like our Earth is?
26. Yeah.
Okay, and it has almost a 24-hour day.
Now the next picture was taken of Mars by an amateur using a 6-inch Schmidt-Cassegrain telescope. And this was taken in June of 2018 when there was a big dust storm, and dust has filled the Valles Marineris. Let's see.
That's
Solar
a line you see.
There's a canal.
No, it's not a canal. There's
Well, that's what they probably saw back 100 and something years ago.
yeah, but in 2018, no. When I was first getting into this and reading the books, they were prolific with drawings of Mars that showed canals all over the place with detailed names and interactions, and some people could see them and some people couldn't. But
Well, is that the Martian Grand Canyon?
Yes.
Yes.
it's filled with dust.
Is
It's
that
easy to obscured with dust in the atmosphere, isn't it?
There is dust in the atmosphere, but sometimes the atmosphere has cleared up, but at the low levels in the veil, the dust is still there, hasn't settled out yet. And this guy caught this one with his 6-inch telescope.
Mars can have dust devils, but not tornadoes, right?
Well, those are tornadoes for Mars.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, its atmospheric pressure is only what, 2% of ours, something like that.
Somewhere around there, 1 or 2, yeah.
Yeah.
So this shows a 1956 image. And on the right, the authors or the Sean Walker's 2012 picture image of Mars. And these are things, these dark areas and light areas are things that you can see with your naked eye, not with your naked eye, but with your optical telescope. They're albedo differences of the surface, and albedo just means reflectivity difference.
But you can see how it changed.
Yes, you can see it's changed. These changes were believed to be seasonal years ago in the early 20th century, and it was due to the melting of the ice cap. And then there would be a wave of like darkening of these bands or these areas as it went south, which everybody assumed it was just water flowing down there. But if you really think about it, that's not a good explanation. So they do change, but they change largely because of dust redistributing sand on things.
And that happens because the polar caps are largely carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
And when they sublimate, when they warm up and sublimate, you get these winds that pick up the dust.
Yeah. But these are features that you can see optically in an amateur telescope, and you can see the changes in them from opposition to opposition. Some
Right, but
oppositions are very good, like
Yeah.
the planet will be 25 arc seconds across, which is half the size of Jupiter, and that's quite large for Mars. This one coming up is going to be 14.3 arc seconds across. So it's not a terribly big one, but it's as
Yeah.
close as it's going to get for 2 years.
yeah, and it'll be hard to see a lot of detail unless you have really
Yeah.
good seeing and a good
Yeah,
scope.
and a good scope.
Yeah, that one detail that looks like Africa is called Syrtis Major.
Yeah,
And
this.
I drew that. I drew that in the 2003 opposition.
Uh-huh.
It was really a nice opposition. It was, Mars was awfully close.
That was Tim Crawford's first outreach, and we had thousands of people show up for the Mars opposition. And he was going, "Is it always like this?"
Yeah.
We went to Taos, New Mexico, with my 4-inch Teleview refractor and got stunning views. We stayed at a bed and breakfast there called Adobe and Stars, which was not designed for astronomers. It was just an accidental attractive name.
Yeah.
But the views of there were stunning. And the views I got of M8, I just couldn't believe it.
Mhm.
So, but that had nothing to do with Mars. It tells you where Mars was that time.
Yeah, and Scorpius, yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
You know,
can I-
normally where I am, there's enough atmospheric scattering that things don't look good. But funny, I guess you say it is. We get high humidity, but then the night sky is just crystal clear, and Mars is red. There's no double take. It's red.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But gentlemen, on the white parts, my question is, dry ice, which is your frozen carbon dioxide, does it live well with regular water ice?
Sure, as long as they're, long as they're both frozen. It's like sandstone and granite can be two rocks in the same rock pile.
They don't mix. Are they layers? Is one lighter than the other, and
It
therefore on
depends
top?
the mechanical history of the layer. They can be layered. If there was a Mars quake, they could be all crumbled up.
Yeah. It also depends, they become solid at different temperatures. So
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, they freeze at different temps. Yeah, same difference.
Yeah. So generally, the dry ice, the CO2 sublimes away and fills up the atmosphere, and that's the principal part of the polar ice cap shrinking.
But it never has a liquid form, then, does it?
not at those atmospheric pressures.
Yeah,
Well,
there apparently is liquid under the surface.
Liquid water, yes.
Yeah, in a matrix of salts and stuff. And there are on the inside of craters, when the weather warms up for Mars, you get these dark streaks going down the inside of the crater that are believed to be either warm water, salt water running down the inside that melted, or it's fresh sand that does a dry, like a powder avalanche. I don't think that argument is settled yet.
Yeah, they get those in our oceans too, and they call them turbidity currents.
Yeah. Underwater landslides.
Right.
Now these come from Uwe Melling, his name down here. Celebites, I think that's where he lives. He is a Zeiss Cassegrain 400 millimeter.
16-inch.
Yeah, 16-inch, thank you. And this is our opposition from 2022, which was 2 years ago, the last opposition. It was also a fairly small one. These are excellent pictures.
Look at that focal length too, 6635.
Which,
Yeah.
this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the F-15.
Well, that's why he's getting good Mars pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys can never get a picture of Mars in your scopes that look anything like this. It just always remains a little round.
You got to
This-
have clear atmosphere, and where we're down here at sea level, we don't. You get a lot of distortion.
Yeah, you could get this. Andy even got surface detail on Mercury with his scope.
Huh.
So yeah, it just you have to be diligent and you have to have good conditions.
Well, the best thing is you take video and you throw away 90% or 95%
Yes.
of the
Right.
pictures, and yeah.
That's exactly what Andy did.
Now this one, this is a comparison of with Uwe Melling also, of the last opposition and November 30, a few weeks ago for this year, showing the change in albedo.
Is this the same angular positioning of Mars in the two of them? Same time of day?
I can't tell that. There's an extensive darkening down here that isn't over there.
Yeah,
But if there
overall,
was a
right,
dust storm,
Yeah, so that
yeah,
but it doesn't look like the
you see that-
same hemisphere.
yeah.
But you
In the
see that
caption,
little-
I didn't get that. So
You see that little thumb sticking up on both of them, and they're not in the same place. So if you line that up, then you see the dark area too,
this, you mean?
a little bit further over to the right there. That light area. No, the light area. And then you go look on the other side, and you can see that same thumb.
Right, like it's just rotating in.
It's rotating, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see
Possibly.
also that from September
Oh, yeah.
to
So this dark
November,
spot would be this dark
Mars
spot.
is really approaching opposition.
Yeah.
You can see that.
But it looks like from where he is, it was a good opposition, clear skies, and it's going to be,
Yeah.
again, depending on the local weather.
I'm still a little confused when you're talking about opposition. Is it always the closest that the object is to us?
Yes.
No, it isn't. Depending
No, it's
on the eccentricity of the orbit, but yeah, it's close. It's always close.
Okay. Okay.
They're not in the closest to the sun. They can be at apogee or perigee, and we could be at an apogee and perigee that are different in the different shaped orbits.
Yeah.
But my impression is that that planet is always closest to us at the time.
It's close in time. Those two events are close in time, but not necessarily coincident.
Which two events?
Being closest to Earth and being at opposition.
Right.
But it's in general. We'd like
in
to
general,
look at
yeah.
opposition.
Yeah,
We'd
and
like to
Tim,
look at opposition.
at opposition, Tim, Mars will appear as a full ball. It'll look like a
Oh,
full
okay.
ball.
Okay. Okay.
Well, it's not the closest to Earth it can get, but at that time, it's not going to get any closer.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that depends on a little bit on your orbital characteristics.
Okay, I see us sitting together with a compass and a piece of
Yeah.
paper.
Okay, but I think Tom's comment answered. It's actually you're going to see the full globe, and in general, it's closer than other times.
Yes.
Mhm,
The closest
mhm.
approach will always be very close in time to the opposition.
So
It's
that's
the biggest.
why we always like when
It
people
looks the
say,
biggest
it's
in our
opposite,
sky.
It's in
Yeah.
opposition, and people are going, "Oh boy, let's go look." So
Yeah.
that's the reason.
Yes.
So,
You see the most.
okay, that's a great clarification for me.
And Tim, do you see on the left picture
Yeah.
that little finger going down?
Yes.
The
That's
appendix,
That's a Mars bar.
Yeah.
Okay, you're
all
reaching
joy.
there. Okay, let's go to Myra the Red.
All right, here we go. We lost
It's out
Tom.
here in the
Oh, there he is.
circlet of Cetus. Myra's in here. It actually is not visible to the naked eye right now because it is a variable star.
Oh.
And up here, I think this is the ninth. Oh, I didn't include that. But I believe it's the ninth, and the moon is right here, and this is to proper scale.
Mhm.
So you can still, but a telescope will still show you Mira, even though the sky's very bright over here. And of course, here's Van Maenen's star, which is one of the fastest moving stars. Is that its fame?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a red dwarf that's close.
Okay. This is a image of Mira. Mira's a multiple star system. And it's very red. This one was taken, I think this is a Hubble picture.
Wow.
Yes,
Yeah.
August 1997. So it's one of the earlier pictures that Hubble took. And then
You put a big black spot in the middle of it. It looked like one of those early photos of the supermassive black hole.
oh
Yeah.
yes, she took the center out.
Yeah.
Now these are
wow.
2 pictures of Mira. This is a visible light picture down here, and this is an ultraviolet picture
Oh, why?
showing its bow shock and trail from the crap it's giving off.
Oh man.
And this is another ultraviolet picture, a wide field picture, showing the extent. You can tell this is a mosaic because there's pictures down here where the borders didn't line up, but the stars did. Another one over there.
But it's a star. Why does it have a trail?
It's throwing off crap like ours. It's got a visible solar wind in the UV.
It's
Oh
one
my-
of these red supergiant type stars that's barfing off its atmosphere. Plus, it's got a fairly decent proper motion.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, stars are not like pristine little balls up there. They are emitting all sorts of stuff. Our sun, with its solar wind, by the time it devours Earth, it will have lost, 10% of its mass.
But it started off at a million tons or something like that.
I don't recall. You might be right. You're probably right.
But did you say this Mira was a binary or a trinary?
I think it's a trinary.
Well, which one is doing all this?
I thought it was just a really large bloated star, but I
Okay.
don't know about companions.
Yeah, the main star is just a really large bloated star. And it's the one that's doing all this exhaling.
And the variableness is when it gets rid of a lot of this and then it shines.
No,
more.
when you go ahead, Chuck.
Well, it pulsates, and that causes the surface temperature to change. So you get carbon molecules actually condensing, and that dims it.
Huh.
What's another Betelgeuse?
Variability is these things are in static or dynamic equilibrium. They're balls of plasma, and if they change what they're burning, their energy source inside, to something that produces less energy, then the star will, as soon as that happens, and it happens quickly, it's an event, and then the star will jump to a smaller size. Well, it doesn't just jump to the size, it rings as it goes down. You've seen astronauts in the space station, and they have a droplet of water they let go in zero gravity, and the water droplet is pulsing and twisting and turning.
Yeah.
That's because it takes a time for those spherical harmonics to damp away.
Huh.
And that's why, and this is like that. It says, Chuck says it's a pulsating variable because it
And it's
had
a
some
carbon
event
star.
that made it pulsate. Yeah, and it's got a variable energy source. It's burning things for a while, then it changes but does something else. And so the surface will always adjust to these things, and it rings a bit.
Right.
Rings.
We can do Legendre polynomials at another talk.
Whoa.
Yeah, and technically it's not zero gravity, Jerry. Don't forget. It's free fall. It's just free fall.
But its term is about a year, right? This variable cycle is about a year long.
It's a long period variable.
About 300 days, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That's almost a year.
Yeah, it'll do.
You know,
Now-
it does say about Mira that it does have a binary companion, a white dwarf, and it's about 70 astronomical units away, and there's matter being transferred between the two, but I don't know if that has any effect on its brightness, though.
Probably has
Well,
some.
Yeah.
I feel a rupus recta coming on.
Yep.
I have some ointment for you, Ron.
This is the waxing crescent moon, or the waxing gibbous moon. It's headed toward full about a week away. This is what it looks like tonight about 10:30. And there's a number of features along here. We're just past first quarter where there's a lot of interesting structure revealed by the shadows of the terminator. These pictures were also taken by Uwe Melling with his 400 millimeter Zeiss telescope. Absolutely outstanding photographs. That's about as big as you can get it before you start seeing pixels, but you can see detail in this rill here. And you can see
escarpment, you can also see detail.
In what?
The escarpment that's further up into the left.
Yeah. Rupus
The
recta.
dark area. The dark area, right there.
This,
right above
yeah,
that.
this, yeah. Okay. Yeah. And
I
you
think
can
that's
see
an escarpment, so you're getting a shadow.
Yeah.
It is an escarpment, but it gives the impression it's like a cliff, but it's not. It's like a 50-degree slope or something.
Well,
That all goes into
the
shadow at
impact
once.
of this mirror. You get the same shadow and the same orientation.
Say that again?
That impact crater that's between the two things that you're talking about, you see
Yeah.
the shadow there.
Yeah.
And it's in the same orientation as in that escarpment or whatever you want to call it that's above it.
Yeah, that's the straight wall of the sword on the moon. You can see the handles in the upper right corner.
Right.
And the hilt, and then you got the sword coming down toward that small crater.
And I think that small crater is Bert. B-I-R.
It's Bert. That's Bert. You're right, Tim.
Okay. So anyway, you can also see slides and debris flows down inside this crater.
Ernie's on the other side, by the way.
Oh, what?
The other crater on above there that's Ernie.
Yeah.
That's Ernie?
This is a joke. This is a joke.
Yeah, just a joke. Just a joke.
Oh, Bert and Ernie. I got it. Okay.
This is Pythagoras. Very oblique on the limb of this moon. Very foreshortened picture. Shows a lot of structure in the walls, tumbled talus slopes.
And a secondary crater right in the wall there. That's pretty cool.
Where do you see that?
A little bright area on the other side of the mountain.
Oh, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And this is not Ernie, but it shows a lot of rills and faults. A lot of detail. Excellent pictures.
Oh.
Yeah, can I ask a question about craters?
Go ahead.
Does science know how big the meteor was just by the size of the crater, or does speed affect how big it's going to be?
Both. Yes. And the composition.
But you can estimate.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Jess.
And probably the angle of impact too.
Come over here. I'll introduce you.
Okay.
Oh, we're going to meet somebody new entering.
Yeah, my son. He's an instructor at the University of Oregon.
Eugene, Oregon. That's in the Willamette Valley, isn't it?
Yeah, Eugene.
Yeah.
Oh, I know it well.
Yeah. So this is Jesse, my son.
Hello.
The father of Riley, the grandson.
You got a pretty good football team this year.
Yeah.
Do you have a scope?
I don't.
I keep his scope at my place.
Well, I have
You have a pretty good football team this year.
We really do. Yeah.
This is Tim Crawford, Ron
Heron,
and Chuck McPartland. And Bruce. Did Bruce sign off?
No, I'm here.
Okay. Oh, there he is.
Tom Totten is not on the screen.
you just got to scroll.
Depends if you talk, then you come on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There
I
you
guess
are.
that happens. You got to keep your screen time up. Thanks.
You're west of the Cascades, I guess, aren't you, right now?
West of the
The
Cascades.
Willamette Valley?
We are in the Willamette. Yeah, we are west of the Cascades.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think kind of in the Cascades.
No, I think we're just.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, West.
Okay. So anyway, we're going to shift now to moon landing. You've seen these pictures of the Starship is a long pencil type thing.
Whoa.
And what they're planning to do reminds me of trying to get a pencil to land on its point on an unknown surface at an unknown angle and have it stay there.
An unknown number of big boulders.
Yes, all sorts. Oh, I hear Riley. Okay. So they're keeping this thing. I thought what they'd do was they'd go ahead and they'd send robots up and build a landing pad so they'd have some control. But no. So what they're doing is building, they're just beefing up the engineering of those struts with advanced shock absorber mechanisms, multiple leg deployment. That is, each leg is independently deployed. They have active control and sensors. They're not just the legs lock out there and then wait for the impact. It's going to feel for the ground, and then
What?
they're going
Why
to
did they
use
go for 4 legs instead of 3? I wonder.
No, they do have four
Oh.
legs.
Yeah, they do have 4.
Be a
I wonder
good
why they
idea.
went for 4 instead of 3.
Yeah, and then reinforced materials, and they're looking at landing gear geometry.
Well, somewhere in the text they talked about 4 versus 3, and if one of them lands in a whatever goo or dust, it won't support it. The other 3 can still support the spacecraft. If you only have 2 legs, it's going to fall over in that situation.
Yep.
But
I still think they're playing with fire.
Right.
the only reason a spacecraft would be shaped like a pencil is if it was launched from Earth through our atmosphere. Otherwise, they put any lander LEM thing together in space.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all the stuff we sent there before is really squat.
We'll get to all those points. This
Okay.
shows the concept of it being on there with 4 legs. And this is the hatch. There's an elevator that goes down.
really?
And this is where they hope it to be smooth.
And Ron,
Yeah.
with 3 legs, clearly it would have a leg up.
Yeah.
Okay, I see I need more puns right up front.
Oh, yeah. These are easy.
This is one concept of a refueled lander, and it's docked with the Apollo, not the Apollo, with the Boeing, whatever that was.
Starship or
No, Elon's is the Starship. I forget the,
Starliner.
Orion spacecraft.
Orion.
yeah, Orion spacecraft, heading toward the moon. There's no landing capability with this, but this is the lander. The crew would transfer into here to go down and land. And once they get down, they're going to, this is getting there. This is a refueling tank, which they would put up in orbit, and then with multiple launches, they'd fill the tank up so it had enough fuel in it to act as a refueling station for the Starship. And these things, this is with Earth orbit, so this would then head for the moon. And it would meet up with the Gateway, which I don't have a picture of. But this particular Starship is not what's going to land on the moon. A version that's dedicated for the moon landing is what will. This is a fanciful picture of spacemen at the bottom of the elevator on the moon. Very ambitious.
There's a whole lot that could go wrong there too. Also, that's the
what?
unfortunate. There's a whole lot of things that you want to simplify as much as possible, and they've got all this giga on there, like the elevator, etc. That you got a whole bunch of single point failures.
Oh yeah, exactly right. This shows that during descent, these are all artist renditions. Now, once they get there, let's go back. Once they get to the moon, what they're going to do is one of these Starship's landers is going to be lowered over to lay on its side. It's going to be laid down in a trench. And then they're going to cover that with regolith So it's buried, but the access hatches are open, and then that's going to be a radiation protected environment for astronauts.
Huh.
That's going to be
Buried.
their first base on the moon. Now,
They're going to bury it? Is that what you said?
yes, they're going to cover it with about 3 meters of regolith. I think that's what you need to get rid of all the proton bombardment from the sun and cosmic rays.
Regolith. I don't know what that is.
Just
Dirt.
local dirt.
Dirt.
Moon dirt. Okay.
Fancy name for dirt.
Wow.
So I was talking to Meta AI, and I said, is anyone else following SpaceX lead and trying to develop reusable booster stages? Riley, would you come over here? Okay.
That's the grandson?
Yeah.
Oh, we get a 2-year-old. He'll probably know more than any of us.
And it came up with this list of activities that are going on right now.
Hey,
Yeah.
look at that. You've arrived.
Can you say hello?
You see all the people? Say hi.
Ooh, are those kind of scary, huh?
Say hi. Say
Thank
hi.
you.
Just love that guy with the Santa Claus beard that's spoiling
Yeah.
you.
So anyway, AI came up with this list of people that are developing reusable boosters. India, China, Ariane, that's the European Space Agency. And of course, here in this country is Blue Origin, United Launch Alliance, which up until the Dragon Starship was dominated our country's launches. Rocket Lab, and apparently a Spanish company. So
Spanish, not based in Mexico. PLD, you know what that stands for?
what I can't hear you.
The one at the bottom, PLD, what is that?
No, I don't know what that stands for.
But it's Spain or
Yeah,
Mexico?
Spain developing a reusable rocket called Mira 5 with plans to recover and reuse the first stage.
Got to tell you, gentlemen, I wish we could all just get together and save a ton of money by just pooling our wealth and pooling our knowledge and not having 6 or 7 competing. Gonna be just like the
Well,
old days.
I'm gonna let, because of the noise in the room, I'm gonna let Tom conclude the meeting here and keep going with the discussions. I'm just gonna mute myself.
Well, listen, that's okay with us. Tom Totten?
I don't have anything to say, but anybody else had any comments? So we're getting close to the end here.
Well, I got
5
my
minutes.
clothes. How many of you are everybody on the screen going to the dinner Friday night?
I'm not.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah, and
I
I
am needed here at home.
And
Is there a
Tim will be there.
Mhm.
and we talked to Diane. Is she got a full house? We can do 40, can't we?
It sounds like she got 40 finally.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whoa.
Well, that would include the mates, right? The wives.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so we'll have a good house. And you found some little silly thing to bring? What is it called? A white elephant gift? Because I'm
Yeah,
going to bring
not necessarily a
part.
white elephant, but good taste and not expensive.
Something
So
you
went
can
out and
trade, huh?
Yeah.
I thought the definition was something kicking around your house that might be valuable that you don't need anymore, and you don't go buy it, you just wrap it.
Yeah. Well, some people, like in previous years, people have bought, if the limit was $15, they did $15 in lottery tickets and things like that.
I
I
just
bring
wonder
a
if
book
we're
about Nixon written by him.
going to be in the same area of the restaurant that I used to play at. I played all over the place. I got to tell you. One night I got booked to do a company party, and I waited in an alcove while they staged one of those restaurant murder things where people stand up and play parts. And I got to play 20 minutes, and nobody danced to me. I got full pay, but Everybody just left 20 minutes till midnight. It's crazy. Well,
Yeah.
gentlemen, I'll see you there. And real quickly, I don't suppose it's too early, or it's probably too late to change the time for our planning meeting Saturday to 4 instead of 4:30. But maybe we can kick it around at the 4:30 planning meeting for the next few months, January.
4 o'clock. Yeah, I think we changed it to 4 o'clock. So
I
is
think
gonna
the
be 4 o'clock.
consensus was 4. Yeah, we never got a real ruling on that.
But you
Okay,
can
well,
show
we
up.
better got to send out an email. I guess Andy will be on charge of that, right?
Yeah.
I
Otherwise,
think Andy
somebody
did send something, I thought.
will log in late. All right, 4 o'clock it is on Saturday.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, we hope to see you at the meeting, at the dinner, 4 o'clock. No, not. I got to go there at 4 o'clock. I'm going to be a greeter. She asked me to be a greeter. And the planning meeting is at 4 o'clock, and then the star party at the museum, and we'll be back here for number 199. Oh, yeah, no, what, just under 200 shows next Monday morning. Thanks,
Great.
guys. Happy holidays.
All
That's it
right.
for the Astro Hour.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks, everybody.